Hey guys, so this episode of Funny Talented Nobodies is with my friend Lora Jol, who is an amazing folk singer-songwriter in Edmonton, Alberta. We've been knowing each other since we were 17, so a long time. And this episode is great because we really talk honestly about what it's like in music when you also, first of all, maybe are married to a non-creative, and also having a big girl job, like having an adult kind of 9-to-5 job that maybe steals some of your energy away from your calling, as well as we talk about what it's like to be in your mid-30s from a stringent Christian home and have no kids. I hope you enjoy it. If you're into it, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to Let Me Live My Life, a show about funny, talented nobodies. And today I am in Edmonton with one of my best girlfriends, Lora Jol. And she is also a folk singer-songwriter, but she's amazing. So we're gonna talk about her journey a little bit, and then she's gonna play us something. So yay! Yeah, how long have we known each other?
20 years.
Oh my lord.
Okay,
That's
so like 17.
Yeah, so how were we 17 when
Like
we
Bible
met?
college.
Yeah, we met when we were 17, so almost 20 years. I know, it's hard to believe that we could possibly be that old because we look so young and attractive.
Childless.
Right? That's why we look young, because we have no children. That's right. Yay! All of your fur babies are around, so they will be in the shot here and now. There are 3 huge dogs in the room as we speak. Just adding life, adding joy, just giving us life. Pretty good. So we used to play in your parents' basement in Three Hills.
Yeah.
You used to play piano, and I would sing with you. Do you remember this? And your parents like a little piano.
Yeah.
And like you'd play the little songs you were writing, and I would play the little songs I was writing. Those were the days. It was a simpler
I wonder
time.
what my songs sounded like back then.
Oh, I'm sure they were terrible.
Sometimes I look for love in all the wrong places.
Whoa, that's
That
good.
just came to me.
Poetry.
I feel like
That's so good.
just super cliche.
Yeah, no, I'm inspired. That's true to life. Yeah, I wrote so many songs in the little practice rooms when we were still in college, and they're all rubbish. I don't remember any of them. I just remember at the time crying and just being so like, this is so, just getting it all out.
I think so, and I think those were the days where I was listening to Alanis's Jagged Little Pill nonstop.
Yeah, for sure. I was getting into like Christian folk music back then. That was my jam. Hallelujah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, those were good days.
Catholic girls.
Oof. Yikes. Yeah, no, lots of angsty music inspired by Christendom, for sure. Pretty good. So then you moved off somewhere, right? You didn't stick around.
I was in Calgary. I moved to Calgary basically.
She abandoned me.
I did.
Oh. Yeah.
No, and then you stayed for 2.
I stayed for 2 or 3. I don't know. I finished my BA in classical voice. Very useful for all the opera that I'm doing today. So then you now are in a band and you're a solo artist here in Edmonton. So like, tell me about what is that like for you?
Well, I've kind of been taking a back seat to like the whole scene and trying to go towards more like the house concert series.
I love that.
And we actually moved into this house last January, and obviously there's some renovation and stuff like that, but I really want to host like 1 concert a month here down the road. That's kind of one of my dreams, just to be able to connect with like traveling through musicians and artists, because I find the pubs and the bars and the back room, that they charge cover for, I just feel like the venues don't treat us like we're supposed to be treated.
Right.
And basically they just want a cut of whatever crowd we're bringing in. And I just think it's a little bit backwards.
No, I think that's great. And I also think if you can curate a good room, then the best musicians that are coming through town that are at that level are going to be like really going to want, it's going to be a coveted place to be, right?
And just get like 40 people that are so into your show.
Yeah.
Like right in front of your face. You could basically spit at them and they'd be like, yeah.
You shouldn't. If you want to keep your audience, no spitting allowed. But yeah, no, I think that's amazing. So then how long, if you had like, so you have a big girl job as well, right?
Yeah, I'm in commercial insurance.
And how's that balance for you as far as like your art and your big girl job?
I think like there's a lot of moments where I'm really thankful for the routine that it gives me, because it gets me out of bed and it puts money in my pocket at the end of the day, where I've never really put a lot of pressure on my music to be the breadwinner.
But would you call it a hobby?
I wouldn't call it a hobby either.
Why not?
I think it's just something I have to do. It's like a mandatory must.
Right.
I have to do it.
So it's a bit insulting.
It's
would
not
you
like-
say, if someone calls it a hobby? It's a bit.
Or they're like, oh, I sing
pejorative.
karaoke too, and you're like,
Here.
All right. Well,
My daughter is such a good singer. You should
Yeah.
hear her. Can you give her some advice as to being in the music business? You're like, yes, become a nurse. So that you feel the compulsion to do it. That's the theme with all of these interviews. The common thread is compulsion. It's like, I don't have a choice but to do what I'm doing.
but to do this, yeah.
And to write the music that I write.
And because I married a very hardworking man when I was 21, who that's kind of his whole focus is working hard. And so I think I kind of like fit into this like 9-to-5 job, because it was like convenient to live sort of like a housewife kind of old-fashioned-y. I don't know what it is.
Right. I wonder if
To
it's
just
the way
like
we
fit
were
the mold,
raised.
like
Yeah.
we were raised, and you know what? My whole family was like, "Wow, you didn't even go to school, and you have the best job out of all of us." And I'm like, it drains the life out of me.
Right.
But apparently, to society, I'm very successful.
Right. So we were talking about this at breakfast today, about like those people who, it's okay, hi baby. About those people who have the job, like the normal job, and who can go to work every day, and maybe they're gonna move up in their company, and like at my age, they started doing what they were doing at 20, and now in their mid-30s, they're like doing something where they make good money, and they get 2 weeks of vacation a year, and I think, wouldn't that be nice? But
I mean,
they're
it is-
different kind of people than
We
us.
are blessed. We're blessed to have the job. Okay, I feel blessed in a lot of ways. But lately, I'm kind of getting really done.
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like you can do it for a while. I feel like I serve, and
She's not sassy at all.
I am very good at serving. It doesn't feed my soul, and even more so, after a while, it drains you, and it like takes that joie de vivre and takes that creative energy away, right? So I just think, how do you find that balance of gratitude for the daily thing, and even gratitude for your hubby who is so different from you in this way, and also be able to create your art, instead of feeling like it's stealing time away from from your purpose.
Yeah,
or
I feel
your
like I've
calling.
kind of just learned how to fit it in where I can. And
Right.
so I live a very full life outside of my corporate job.
Yeah.
Because that's what fills me up. So job drains me, but it fills up my bank account. But then
Right.
I need my fulfillment of being around people, being around my art, being around other people that are creating as well, because we are each other's best supporters, right?
Totally. Well, and to that end, it's interesting. We know a lot of people who got married at 12,
Yes.
like you, right?
Yes.
And I look at them and I think it's interesting to see like the creatives that married creatives, the non-creatives that married non-creatives,
Right.
and in some cases it seems like the creative needs the stability of the non-creative, but there's always going to be a part of you where you don't necessarily understand each other's wavelength in that way. So it's really interesting to see what kind of pairs end up together, and how, as you actually grow into who you are, how that works. Because you guys got married so
Well, and
young,
I feel
right?
like we are I'm completely different than when we first got married.
Right.
I feel like maybe I'm a lot more different than he would be, compared to the guy he was
And
back
he's
then.
steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
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 So it's almost like you have to get to know each other again, and then you have to communicate, hey, this is how you can support me at this time.
Right.
During this phase of my life, this is how you can support me,
Right. Well, I think that's what keeps us from becoming my mother and their mothers, right? Where they would get married super young, but then instead of saying this is what I need in order to
Right.
feel seen, in order for me to grow, because it takes balls, like it takes courage and confidence you know, and self-esteem to say, this is what I'm gonna need from you in order for me to feel seen and in order for me to find a purpose. Whereas I think a lot of women in that generation, not all of them, but a lot of those women, they didn't find their purpose because they married so young and their whole identity was, okay, I'm married and I'm a mother and I'm this and that. And so they never really developed that side of themselves, only to find themselves maybe bitter or unfulfilled later in life.
Or like just wishing they had a thing. And I'm like, you do have a thing. It's just a matter of
Finding it.
and finding it.
Totally. But it does take, like, if you marry a guy that has a personality that can be tough, or a guy that has a heavy pain body, like let's say my dad or your dad in some ways, you know, these guys, it's tough to stand up and say something that's potentially going to make them uncomfortable, which is, this is what I need from you, and I know it's something that makes you uncomfortable, but I need it from you.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's tough. And I feel like that's our job as this generation of women, for the sake of our art and service of our music, to say what we need and to make space. I mean, that's why my life is easy, because I'm a childless spinster. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I was talking to this guy, and he has all of these, he has kids and whatever, and I was saying, I'm just gonna go out and buy sushi with all of my disposable income that I don't spend on anybody but myself, and I'm accountable to no one. Oh, I mean, there are upsides to being alone. Pretty good. So then, you're writing a lot these days. What has the writing been? Like, first of all, what kind of stuff do you write?
It's all trying to like unravel the mystery of like the connection between either two people or the connection between like two friends. I think frustration comes out. There's a little bit of angst that comes out. Questioning, pondering, don't have all the answers. Don't really want all the answers. Don't really wish I had all the answers, because the journey getting there is also amazing.
Right, because you're not an anxiety person.
No.
No. So that's the difference between. See, Lora is one of the most positive people that I know. So I'll call her in like an anxiety, like, you know, sweat. And she fully cannot get on that level because she's just not an anxiety person. So like what she's saying about like the joy of the journey. I'm like, the journey?
Get me there.
I'm like
Get me there.
fully just like flop, sweat, anxiety, right? And she's like, oh, but let's roll down the hill. Let's go into the forest. It's lovely today. And it's like -40. She's like, I'd like to sled. Bring the dogs.
I remember a few weeks ago we were talking, and you were telling me your current mindset and kind of your rant, and I was like,
my rant. Literally. I'm like, why did I
she's
call
like,
it person?
I feel like you're not really there with me.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I feel so overwhelmed. And she's fully like, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
That's what friends are for.
I mean, like, it was so funny. And then I just realized that I really envy how you seem to be able to be present and be more, and enjoy the journey more. Find a way, like find the beautiful things in every day that will brighten your day so that you can be in a positive headspace. Even if it's shitty, you're like, but also, this is so nice. Look, that tree has 3 birds in it. I love birds.
I love birds. They're not even magpies.
Wow. You know, like it's really, really cool. So then,
thank you.
I mean, you're welcome.
I mean, you're fine.
So, exactly. So, was there a time when you decided that you wanted to be a musician? Or was it just like something that from when you were young?
I feel like when I was younger, I have 3 sisters that are like 10 years and older than me.
You're the baby?
I'm the baby. But I used to like run up like to the stage when they're singing like Amy Grant, Thy Word is a Lamp.
Oh.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Again.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Oh, I felt it.
So I would like run up to the stage, like in the middle of a church service. My sisters would be up there singing a trio, and I wasn't allowed because I was too young. And I like stole the mic, and I was like, bye!
You brat.
So I feel like I always...
And then you got a spanking in the parking lot.
Maybe. They left me at church that week.
Fine.
And then I went home with another family, and it was way more fun anyways. They would always forget me because they didn't have me for so many years. They just had 4 kids, right? So they just had to do like a four kid count. So there was multiple times they would leave me at church, and I would just go home with my family for the rest of the day.
So
Excuse
much.
you, Harp.
So much.
Because that was my old dog. He's down there. Sorry.
There's a dog. There's a geriatric dog right here.
Right. He just had a hairball.
So the story you're telling is about being forgotten.
Yeah, so I guess I have some
That's
abandonment
a little trauma
problem.
there. A little trauma.
Unexplored trauma. I just like the silver lining in that, right? I was like, sweet, I get to go play with like other people's hay bales.
Yeah.
Like all
Other people's hay bales. That's
Hay-
nothing's more Berta
hay
than
bales.
that. What are you doing this afternoon? Going up for a rip? No,
Going
I'm going to
for a
play with the Smith's hay bales. You want to come? Yeah.
We're playing Mission Impossible.
We're playing Mission Impossible in the hay bales.
Yeah.
Make sure you put some elastics around your ankles so you don't get any mice up your pant legs. It's pretty good. So, anyway,
I think I'm most addicted to the like the connection that music gives you to other humans. I feel like animals and music, bar none, like easiest way to connect with others.
Right, absolutely.
And that is like something that I feel like it's one of my gifts is to stay connected with people. Hence why I think is one of the reasons why I haven't had my own children. I feel like they would just steal all my time that I wouldn't be able, like there'd be so many people left in want of this. Come on.
Hello.
But I mean, so many people need this, like this connection. And I feel like I'm available because I don't have all these other...
Have you felt the pressure though? Like, because we're both people who grew up in Christendom, where the women all were like, you better like get married and
get your shoes off and get pregnant.
Right, start popping those babies out. So like most of my friends who went to school with us have, 3, 4, 17 children. So have you felt pressure to do that?
The pressure is there. I've never let it affect
I thought you were about to cry. Your voice kind of cracked at the beginning. Anyway, children.
I just uterus. Overnames. I feel like the pressure's obviously, it comes because people don't know what to talk about, so they just like stick to like the most surfacey level things, although that's not even a surface level question.
No, it's not.
But people ask it all the time, thinking it's just like, oh, hey, how are you? Are you having kids? When are you having kids?
Right.
And I feel like I've never let that pressure affect me at all.
No, that's good though. I think a lot of people do.
I feel like the main thing that would be like kind of would be knowing if I stole an opportunity from my husband to be a father.
Yeah, that's big.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. I thought you were gonna say if I stole a baby.
If I stole a baby from us.
Kidnap any babies just because you feel guilty. No, I mean I hear you, and I think that that's the kind of person you are. Is that you are like the empathy is like at a 12 out of 10. It's really interesting. People who grew up like we grew up, the women are asked that all the time.
Well,
Or like, how do you feel? Like you're in your mid-30s. Are you feeling like? And they'll ask you, people that you barely know will be like, so how do you feel about the life expectancy of your lady parts? Like, how do you feel about how many eggs do you have left?
they're like, do you realize that a pregnancy at your age would be geriatric? And you're like, huh.
Like, this has been really fun. Here's a track. Can I introduce you to the big JC? Like literally, I'm like, who are you? Get some social skills. No, I don't know. For me, not having kids is circumstantial.
Yeah.
Ain't no dudes.
Like I think, like when we first met, you were like, you expected to have.
I expected to get married. Ain't no dudes. I expected to have kids, but it wasn't like, you know those women who are like, ow, my womb is crying out to be filled with life. I've never really felt that. Also, my sister got knocked up when we were in college, and that kind of threw a monkey wrench into things too, and kind of threw my worldview off a little bit. Not off, but changed it. So like my nephew now is almost 14, 15, friggin' crazy. and he plays football, and it's super weird. But he's kind of been my surrogate child. My niece and nephew have kind of been my surrogate babies. Yeah. So that's taken some of the pressure off, thank goodness.
Best godmother ever.
I mean, thank goodness my sister is fertile myrtle, or I would have much more pressure. Like, oh my gosh, that girl can look at a penis and hey-o, the womb is full. So yeah, my womb is empty. There are like tumbleweeds in my womb, but like in a really chic way. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I live in Vancouver, right? So the median age for having kids in Vancouver is 40. Like normal, it is very normal. Come up here. Come up here. It's very normal in Vancouver for these ladies to have kids at 40. My only thing is, am I gonna be so tired if I have a kid in my 40s? Am I literally gonna be like so tired that that kid is like a nightmare to be around? Like he just totally like ruins everyone's brunch. Because you know those people that you see and they're like little child that's name is like some creative, annoying, awful name, Falcon. Falcon, stop pulling her hair, Falcon. Okay, oh, are you I'm sorry, no, you go ahead. No, it's fine. I want you to live your best life. Right, like these parents who are so evolved and they have all of this patience, and so their children are like little hellions. Whereas I feel like when you have kids in your 20s, you have no patience.
Right.
You have all the energy in the world.
You just have no maturity.
You have no maturity.
Yeah.
So you probably traumatize your child for overdoing it.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite, right? Like old parents have all the patience in the world, but no energy. Young parents, no patience and all the energy.
Yeah.
So it's like,
true.
so probably.
Pick your poison.
Right. I don't know. I feel like it's almost better to have younger parents who are idiots because I think you'll be a better person.
You'll have more character.
You'll have more character because your parents will probably spank you.
And maybe more adventure in your life because
maybe.
like nothing's organized. And
nothing's organized. You'll have boho adventure.
Yeah.
Ghetto adventure. Ghetto venture. Whereas when you're older, you get to go on vacations. You get your first iPad at 2 years old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom, the battery's dead.
Where's my iPad? And you're like, kid, I will. I'm not gonna say that, but I wanted to say that I would.
Yeah, you know.
Now you know, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, back to the music. So, has it looked the way you thought it would look when you first started kind of diverting your energy more so to music? And how long has it been since you've been doing that?
I think I have a lot more casual approach to it. Even though it's not a hobby, it's just more of a realistic. Maybe that's like my husband who's very realistic about everything. Maybe that's just kind of like him rubbing off on me that like, yeah, that life isn't possible. But you could do it on this scale and be sustainable.
And how does that feel?
I don't know. I'm really not sure.
Right. Right.
So I feel like I have more of a casual approach.
Yes,
than you
I would
do.
be soaking in that feeling. How does it feel for me? Like a bathtub full of Epsom salts. Like the way that you're like, I'm not really sure how it feels. I'm like, how can you not know? Because I'm like fully like digging into every feeling for all it's worth. Yeah, no, I think also because I'm single, right? I think that plays a big role because there isn't anybody else.
Yeah.
That I am having to be like, okay, let's make sure that he's taken care of. Let's make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's different if you get to a certain space, if you get to a certain level before you meet the dude, then there's kind of like a, just so like he already knows that this part of your life is allocated to your art, right? But when you're trying to build something and have something flourish amid, you know, pillars of humanity.
And I didn't really get into the songwriting until like 4 years into being married.
Right, okay. So then what did that look like?
I mean, I've always been a singer. I've led worship going like to church all those years, but I never actually wrote a song I liked, like came back to and it was actually real to me until 4 years in. So.
And so then what did that, like when you started looking at that, what was that vibe like?
Well, he was like very supportive. He was like, Kate, let's get you all your sound gear, and like he really tried his best to support me the best way he knows how, right? Just to make sure I'm prepared. I've got all the right chords to plug in. I think the emotional support probably was a little less than I would have liked, but I think a lot of my songs, I think he felt like all my songs were complaining about my life, and he felt he was a big part of that too. So he was like, oh great, another I Hate Nico song. Great. That's awesome.
That's so interesting.
But I said, well, but every song has like, oh, excuse you, Harv.
Take two.
every song has like this like upward
There's an arc. Yeah.
hope at the end, where it's just like, this is the way it is, and I'm still here. So,
No.
and those are the words you wouldn't really pay attention to those like little hopeful moments in the songs.
Right.
You would more just hear like the angsty parts. But I mean, I can't help what I can write songs about. Like, whatever flows will flow, and then you make a song out of it. And
Well, and it's interesting because I know there's so many songs that I've written where it's actually taken me a long time, and maybe you're different in this way, but like in the beginning I would write and I'd be very conscious of, okay, if this song's about sex and my parents hear it, then they're not gonna like it. Or if this song is about this or that, this person's gonna hear it and they're not gonna like it. And really censoring myself until relatively recently. And then having to call my parents and be like, I'm coming out of a closet of sorts. You know, even this channel where I say the F word, or, you know, I talk about sex or talk about real life, there are always going to be people in your life when you grew up like we did, or you grew up with archetypes like we grew up with, that are either not going to understand what we're doing, or that are going to find it a bit threatening or personalize it. And yeah, some of it is personal. Like, I have a song about this recent guy, and hey, Tofino, if you've watched the channel, you've heard of Tofino. I have 3 songs about him that are not very flattering. Not at all. And if we were going to be together, I don't know, maybe I just wouldn't tell them they were about him. But at the end of the day, it's like,
say, you live in Tofino, your name is
David. His name is David. Anyway, so like, that's the thing, is that I think as a songwriter, like you say, you have to kind of go where you're being led by the muse, which sounds so like hokey, but it's true. As you start writing, it comes in a certain way, and if you're feeling something, you can't really lie. Like, it's like the lie detector.
Well, and maybe you keep some of those songs, those angsty ones, maybe you just keep those in the closet for yourself, and then you release just really happy, catchy stuff to the public. Like, I don't know.
Maybe, but I also think
Who
you
cares?
need those B-sides. You need the B side in order to be able to really make that other shit shine, right? Like, I have my like happy songs, people are like, oh, that's so fun, but then I'm like, actually the other stuff means more to me, because I know the work that I had to do to really mine that out of myself. And that me singing the truth of my biggest fear, is really cathartic in a way that a happy song isn't. Happy song is fun because the audience gets involved in whatever, but I find that those kind of gut-wrenching songs are the ones that you really feel like you did the time to earn this.
Right.
You know? Ugh. So yeah, so what do you want? 5 years? What's your ideal? What do you see?
5 years. Currently I'm trying to just build something on the side of my music, on the side of my current job, in order to sustain the finance side and to get my time back, and hopefully just be a little bit more free with my time, I guess, 5 years from now, and have the resources that money isn't even a problem. Like, it's not even a thought. It's like the least materialistic I'll ever be, because I'll have enough of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you could give advice to the Lora that was 21, or even the Lora that was 17, what would you say to her?
I'd say, get some freaking voice lessons, girl. From this one over here. This one. I would have taken more vocal and guitar lessons. And it's not too late. I could still do that.
It's just different though.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different trying to do it when you're grown.
Yeah. I would probably say, don't tie yourself down so much.
Yeah.
I feel like some days I do feel quite tied down just with like the lifestyle we've kind of built with ourselves.
The logistics of life.
The logistics, it just really irks me, like waiting in rush hour traffic, and for what? Like, what do we have? We have a warm house, but it's like I could live anywhere, right?
Yeah, that's big. The trappings. You
feel
trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You buy yourself this house and then you feel trapped in it almost, or at least most of your finances are going out the window to support it. right?
That's so interesting. I think that's really good advice. I mean, I'm a renter, and I always feel guilty that I don't own.
No, don't.
Until these kind of conversations, and then I'm like, yeah, like I could leave tomorrow,
Yeah.
you know, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. So, you have a music video coming out. For what song?
I have, it's called Marigold, which is actually like one of my best friends just middle named her baby Marigold. And I was like, yay, I have a song for her.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So excited.
I love that.
But I met this DJ guy at a open mic at the Druid. Actually, you did it at Druid. Open mic back in the day. And he was like, I really love your voice. I'm more of like the instrumentation, DJ, electronic stuff. But he's like, I have all these backing tracks and I just want some vocals to them. So he sent them to me and I'm like, I have a song that actually will fit perfectly into this structure of this track you have. Like basically he didn't have to add any measures or take any measures away. It was like exactly perfect for the amount of the length of the song. So he thought that this would be like top 40, like dance, Hot 107 kind of hit. And then he disappeared. So in the meantime though, we did record a music video.
Nice.
And so I'm working now with a videographer to wrap that up. I'm paying her the rest of the money to edit it all. And it's gonna be fun. It's hard to see myself on camera, but I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. What?
No big deal. I mean, you're a professional now, so.
I am getting more comfortable. What you see is what you get. But she was in my face quite a lot with the camera, like this far away. So it gets a little bit unnerving when somebody is like that close to you. So I think I'm gonna just have like a house concert. And then at intermission, I think we're all just gonna like pop a bottle of champagne and watch the music video.
That's
just
so
to kind of
cool.
like, I just need to finish something. It's been since 2014 since I released my last album. And that was the last time I actually finished something and, you know, got it all wrapped up in pretty saran wrap and I still
One
have,
of those expensive
I
posters.
still have like 400 copies, just so you know. I probably won't do that whole price break deal next time either. Never order more than a couple hundred copies.
No one wants
Of
a CD.
a hard copy.
Let's be
ever.
real. I have a bunch of CDs. I'm not in my car long enough to really listen to them. And that's the only place anyone listens to a CD anymore. Anyway,
It's
life
true.
lessons with Auntie Lora. So you're gonna play Marigold for us, is that right?
Yeah, so I'll play you like the acoustic version. The music video is to like.
Oh, is there no dubstep DJ here for us?
There's
to-
no.
So we're all tuned up. This is Marigold, Lora Jol.
The weather's rolling in. It'll help you find your kin. It'll take you to that place where you can begin. Your flea has lost the flame. Your flame has lost its flea. I'll get over you. and down and round and round and round. You flew too high, you broke the tree, but you did not harm the little bird that you freed. It didn't harm the little bird that you freed. Spending your whole life not doing what you like, betting you can buy it back when you're older and refined. Your body won't break down, your mind is ever sound. Freedom in the fray, imaginary days. Oh, there you go, up and down and round and round. You flew too high, you broke the tree, didn't harm a little bird that you freed. There you go, up and down and round and round. You flew too high, you broke the tree, didn't harm a little bird that you freed. It didn't harm little bird, it didn't harm a little bird that you free. Up and down and round and round.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, just before we go, that third verse, what are those lyrics talking about? What is the third verse you're saying?
Spending your whole life not doing what you like,
Oh,
betting you can buy it back when you're older and refined.
oh my gosh. Oh, that got me. I was like, yes, that's the lesson. That's the lesson. Is
Right.
you think, I will do what I love when I have the money.
Right. Right?
Yes. That's the lesson.
Yeah.
Practice your guitar. Practice your piano. Do what you love today. Don't wait. And that brings us to the end of Let Me Live My Life with Lora Jol. Thank you so much. I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too.
Okay.
Okay.
Mwah. All right.
That's a wrap, folks.